It was another short summer. June and July were the only snow-free months in Alberta this year. We had heavy snow in mid-September and light flurries in early October, but now the cold is here to stay. I'm heading out to winter camp, and I drive as far as I can until the road goes no further. I gear up and slide my heavy sled out of my vehicle. I make my way down the snowy cut line. This is the easiest part of the hike, with clear and level ground. I see my hidden trail marker ahead that tells me to hang a left into the woods. The terrain makes a drastic change. Thick standing trees, hills, valleys, and tons of deadfall. The reality of this planned trek is now hit. Was this really a good idea to bring out so much gear in one trip? The hike is miserable and slow going. It seems there is a new obstacle every couple of feet. The further I get into the woods, the more I doubt myself. There's no turning back now, I say to myself, as I drag my sled over another fallen tree. My trail camera is up ahead, and I'm excited to see what I've captured on film. The camera has been up since the beginning of October. I reset the camera and continue on. I'm about the halfway point now. The trail gets more and more difficult the further I go. I reach the worst part of the trek, a steep 60-degree slope down to my camp. Instead of dragging the sled, I turn it around, lowering it down the hill. The sled snags on everything imaginable as I slip and slide, trying to stay on my feet. I have to be careful, for a runaway sled would smash everything to bits. I stop frequently to reassess my plan, trying to think ahead and negotiate the trail. Slowly but surely, I finally reach camp. Mission accomplished. Well guys, that was quite the trek out here. Pretty cold one today. It's about minus 18 Celsius, which is a little colder than average. One of the first things I'm going to do is get a fire going. When I first got to camp, I realized that my stovepipe got knocked down. And in front here I have two tarps. This green one is just basically for camouflage, and I have a bunch of debris, branches and everything to help cover it. And my stove jack, which is basically just a baking sheet with a hole cut in it, somehow slid down in between these two tarps. And we've had rain and snow and you name it. So I think it's trapped under there till spring. Before I light my fire, I'm going to cleanse my shelter with the sage, something I forgot to do last time. While my food is defrosting up above my stove, I'm going to unpack my sled. My sled is all unpacked. Just have to figure out where to put everything. And I noticed that my 2 cast iron pans somehow got wet and have some surface rust on them. My olive oil is also frozen. I'm going to re-season these pans and then maybe cook some lunch. Still trying to get the hang of the stove. First time cooking any kind of quick bread on it. There's a big difference between cooking and just reheating something. Some of you know I made my own crosscut sharpening tools, and I spent a lot of time in the spring getting the saw ready for the winter, so I'm excited to try it out. So my lunch is all ready. You know, growing up in Alberta, I've been exposed to a lot of different cultures and foods, and this is a very traditional dish. Head cheese and fry bread with vinegar. If you're not familiar with head cheese, it's basically a way of utilizing every part of the pig. It's pork meat and gelatin. Got some orange juice over there. Should be good. I'm just going to head down to the creek, see if it's starting to freeze up yet, and get some water. You know, it's hard to believe that just 3 or 4 weeks ago I was out here gold panning. But probably the next time I come out here, the creek should be safe to walk on. I've just been out scouting for resources and chaga, stuff like that. My mouth is completely frozen. But I stumbled across this beaver dam. This wasn't here last year. And there's another one further upstream. Looks like an active beaver run right there. Here's that chaga I found last time. I think I'm just going to break off a little piece and leave the rest. I know this probably doesn't look like much on camera, but I literally used to be able to hike right through there across in the chaga forest. Now it's just a mountain of fallen trees. I think I'm going to have to rename this little area here. But I definitely can't go any further until the creek freezes over. So after I got back to camp, I took all the items from my sled, hung it up from the ceiling in my shelter to keep the animals off of it. I think I had a pretty productive day. You know, I have to ease back into this. I haven't used my crosscut saw or my axe in a few months. And the hike back should be a lot easier without my sled. Stay tuned for scenes from next episode. I got some deer meat here I'm going to use as a bait station for my trail camera.